Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, the award-winning gardening podcast as voted for by the Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and by my listeners. I hope that you have all clicked that subscribe button. If you're new to the podcast channel, please do click the subscribe button and then you get notified of all the new podcasts that get launched. And if you're not following me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, make sure you look for Gardening with Ben and follow me on all my social medias. So sit back, relax, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's gardening podcast with Ben. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for a brand new episode. I hope you're all well. Well, we've got lots to be talking about because we've not done a podcast for ages, and it seems like ages anyway. But yeah, we're back here with another podcast, and this is a catch up on what I've been getting up to and what I've been doing, because I've been doing a lot down at the allotment. You may have seen my Facebook lives of everything that I've been doing and my Instagram posts, but I've not done a podcast for a while. So I thought, what better way is to catch up. So what have we been up to down at the plot? Well, I've been purchasing so many new plants for the allotment. Yes, I'm still addicted to buying plants. I can't stop myself. I've seen a psychiatrist, but I just can't stop buying them. But yeah, we are really busy with buying lots more plants for the allotment. And what have I bought recently? Well, recently I've purchased some geraniums. I purchased 24 red geraniums for the allotment. They were selling those off at my local Tesco. I think it was £1 for 6 plants, something like that. So I purchased them, and the best thing is with geraniums is that they come back year after year if you take them out of the ground and put them in a greenhouse and stop them from getting any frost. You can wrap them up, or if it's warm enough in your greenhouse, well, fine, they'll be fine. I did this last year with some that I grew from seed, and they've all come back in bloom this year and they look absolutely fantastic. So if you're wanting to find some bargains, get some geraniums if you can find any, and plant them now so they'll flower this year, and then dig them back up just before the winter, before the frost comes, and put them into the greenhouse ready for next year, and you'll be getting blooms again next year, and they'll be bigger, better plants as well. And that's the thing with my allotment. I'm trying to get more and more perennial plants on the plot that come back year after year, so that I don't have to buy any more plants, but I'll probably end up doing it because there's still loads of borders that I want to fill with perennial plants. So we're getting there, we're filling the plot up, we're making it look bright and blooming, and it's certainly attracting the bees. I saw the bees enjoying them today, all my flowers at the front of the plot. I'd planted some begonias, well, got cheap, yeah, they're not perennials, but they look great and they filled in the gaps. And I also bought some impatiens as well the other day. Again, they're not perennials, but they filled in the gaps, and hopefully they'll come out in bloom soon. I'm just waiting on my gladiolis coming out now, because when they come out, wow, they'll be fantastic. Hopefully that'll be in August time, so possibly next month. So we'll see how well they look when they come out. All the leaves are there, all the leaves are ready. We're just waiting for the flower spike to appear and for that to start blooming on the allotment, and hopefully brighten it up and add more and more colour to the plot, because you can never have enough colour. And that's the thing with allotments, they're very dull and green if you don't have any flowers on there. And obviously you're wanting the flowers on the plot to attract them, the bees, to help germinate your produce. So the more flowers you have, the more bees you'll get, the more produce you'll hopefully get from your fruit trees and stuff like that. And this year, wow, I have got a bumper crop on my apple trees, not tomato trees, on my apple trees. They're looking absolutely full to busting with eating apples. I'm going to get so many off there this year. I can't believe really how many I've actually got on there. It's literally like bending the tree over. There's that many on it, and I'm not going to take any off because they'll probably drop some. You usually get a fruit drop around July where it sheds off any fruit that you don't want and leaves on the fruit that it does. So we'll see how well we get on, and hopefully not too many drop off. and we get some fantastic produce. So they're coming along really well. I'm going to talk you through like literally all my allotment. So we're going round it, round the areas. My plum tree this year, it's got some plums on it, not too many, not as many as last year, but it seems to do that. It seems to have a really good year, and then it has a year where it doesn't produce much at all. But some's better than nothing, and they are absolutely delicious plums in my Victoria plum trees. And yeah, fingers crossed we do get some. My pear tree's got a lot of pears on it. I'm impressed with that. It's got the most pears on it has ever had on. I didn't prune it last year. I just left it as it is. I'm going to give it a prune in winter because it's getting a bit tall, but I'm not going to give it a heavy pruning. I'm just going to trim the tops off it to stop it from getting too tall, and hopefully we'll get some delicious pears on it. And they're going like a reddy colour, which is strange. I didn't think they were a reddy colour to start off with, but we'll see what colour they turn out to be. As long as they taste nice, that is the main thing, and that's what I'm going to enjoy. So the pears are coming along really well. The rhubarb, absolutely loads and loads of rhubarb. So much rhubarb, it's unbelievable. Rhubarb crumbles coming out of my ears everywhere, and yeah, absolutely loads of rhubarb on the plot. And I'm pleased because rhubarb is expensive to buy in the shops. I said to all my followers on Facebook and everything is that invest in fruit plants because it will pay you back 10 times over. Trust me. I've paid a lot for my fruit plants, but now I've got all the fruit I want, and I literally I'll get thousands of pounds worth of money from the fruit that I've got, because I've got so much fruit on my plot. It's unbelievable. So that's all my fruit trees, and moving round onto the others, into my polytunnel now. I'm trying to visualise it as I'm going round talking about it. I am actually at home, I'm not on the allotment, so I'm visualising everything what I'm growing. So next off we're in the polytunnel, and we have got my melon plants. We've got cantaloupe melons and we've got watermelons, and yesterday I had a look at my melon plants and we've got flowers. I'm really pleased we've got some flowers on it, which is a good sign. It's a sign we could get some melons, and that is my key task this year, to get some melons off my plants and hopefully get some fantastic ones as well. Even if I just get 2 out of all the plants that I've got, I'm just hoping that I get some melons, and that's my goal this year. I'll probably spend more on the plants and the compost and everything than I'll get from the melons, but we'll see. If I look after them and I use my green fingers, hopefully we'll get some melons, and especially if I get a watermelon, that would be my real goal achieved. So we're really hoping for the watermelons. And the thing is with melon plants, obviously growing them in a polytunnel, it's really hot and humid. It's the perfect temperature for them. So hopefully it's the right conditions for them. And obviously with the flowers, you'll need them to get pollinated, so make sure you leave your greenhouses open, your polytunnel doors open. And if you're unsure, go around with your paintbrush and pollinate them yourself. Obviously staying with the same paintbrush for the same varieties. You don't want to be crossbreeding and produce a square melon. But yeah, don't go trying crossbreeding them. Try and keep the same melon plants on the same paintbrush. Then we've got as cucumbers, lots and lots of flowers coming on them. I need to start staking them up and netting them up so that they've got something to climb up, because they're not climbing up anything now. They're starting to get big enough to start climbing, and they're sending out all the tendrils as well to start hooking on to climb up stuff. So I've got all that to do, so I've got to spend quite a bit of time in the polytunnel sorting all that out and hopefully getting it all ready for looking good. So we've got that to do. Moving back outside around the other side of my polytunnel, I'm now talking about my strawberry plants. Wow, I've picked the last of the strawberries today. Wow, did I have a good success with them this year. I moved them all from the original place of where they used to be to a new spot this year. I wanted my fruit either side of my polytunnels. It was a risk moving them all. I did lose some plants, some didn't survive with moving them. Obviously they didn't get watered enough and didn't take well enough, but we had lots of plants and we had hundreds of strawberries off them. But next year I'm wanting to quadruple the crop of strawberry plants, and how I will do this for free as well is that strawberry plants are now starting to send out all the runners, and what that means is that they're sending out all the baby plants from the actual mother plant, and each plant will send out about 4 or 5 extra plants ready for next year. The one that's closest to the mother plant on the runner is usually the strongest. The other two are often not as strong, but you can have success with them. Don't waste them, have a go, try and pot them up and see how they get on. And the way that you pot them up or start them off as new plant is leave them attached to the runner. I often call it the umbilical cord. Leave it attached, place the plant into some soil, push it down into some soil, and it will send some roots out. Once it's sent the roots out and it's got a firm grip and it's taken, then you can snip it off from the umbilical cord and it will grow on its own. It needs to stay attached to this cord while it's growing, a bit like a baby. It needs all its food and nutrients, which its mother plant will provide it, and get it growing. So that is basically what you can do, and you can increase your crop. And if you don't want the plants, still do it and just give them to a plot neighbour or give them to a friend. Do not waste them plants. Them plants are probably worth about £2 each when you're buying them from the supermarket or the garden centre, and you can be giving them away for free, or if you want to make a bit of money on the side, why not sell them? It's up to you. There's plenty of ways of doing it now on your doorstep or on Facebook Marketplace or something like that. But yeah, don't waste them plants. Pot them up and give them away, or give them to somebody or a charity or a community group or a school or something like that. Make full use of them plants. So they've come on really well. Now onto my raspberries. My raspberries are just starting to fruit. They're all just turning red now. They're absolutely fantastic. So as the strawberries ended, the raspberries are starting. So that is they're so tasty as well, so delicious. And I've still got some strawberries left, so I've been mixing them with the strawberries. So I've been having raspberries and strawberries with cream, and wow, absolutely delicious. A nice pudding to have each day. So they've come along well. And then we've got us thornless blackberries. They were newly planted this year. I'm giving them a try. They've not grown too much, the plants. They've not sent out long runners, but they have got a lot of fruit on the plants that are there. For the first year, I'm impressed. Loads and loads of fruit on it. So next year, hopefully, we'll have a lot more fruit on them. So we're going to see how they get on, see what they taste like. If they do taste nice, then they'll be staying in. If they taste horrible, the plants will go. But yeah, I'm so looking forward to trying these blackberries, and they're thornless as well, like I said, so you're not ripping your fingers to shreds, and we're seeing how well they get on. And then we've got us blueberry plants. These are new plants what I planted this year. Not got many blueberries on, which I wasn't expecting, but they have got a few on them. So next year, fingers crossed, we'll keep feeding them, we'll keep watering them, and hopefully the plants will become bigger bushes next year and get more and more produce on them, and hopefully some delicious blueberries, because blueberries are expensive to buy as well from the supermarket. So we'll see how we get on with them over the next years. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how well it's doing. So next up we have got, I'm just trying to visualize my plot. We planted some new plum trees this year. They were reduced from £7 each to 80p, I think it were. I paid for them in the end for 2, and they're all in leaf and growing. Obviously I won't get plums on them for a few years. They're the same variety as my main plum tree, Victoria plum tree, so I know that they're going to be absolutely delicious. My original plum tree has been in there about 16 years now, so I'm not expecting fruit from these for a few years. So we'll keep looking after them, keep them growing, and keep getting them growing well. Now onto my main plot area. We have got my sweet corn. Wow, that is growing well, and keep it well watered. If you're growing sweet corn, keep it watered, because the roots do not go down that far. They're quite shallow. To say how big sturdy plants they are, the roots don't go really that far, and they obviously dry out fast because the top of the soil will dry out fast. So keep them watered, keep them moist, and keep them growing. The taller you can get the plants to grow, the more corn on the cobs you will get from them. Then moving on to my potatoes. My potatoes are probably ready for pulling up soon. They're in flower, that means that they're getting ready to be eaten, but usually I wait until the plants start to die off before I pick them. I usually wait until then, and then I know that they're absolutely ready and the potatoes will be under there for pulling up. Then we've got this beetroot. My beetroot's doing so well this year. I'm so surprised with how well it's doing. Some years I don't do very well with the beetroot, and some years I do, but this year it's growing so well. Keeping it weed free so that the weeds don't take all the nutrients away from it, and yeah, they're looking good and healthy. And also this year I'm trying for the first time pickling onions. Now these are onions obviously specialised for pickling with. Silver skin they're called. I had to think of the name there. Silver skin onions, and they're growing well, so hopefully we might have some pickled onions. I'll have to ask my mum to do it because I'm no good at stuff like that. Get her to pickle me some onions and see what they taste like, see how big we can get them to grow first, and see what they taste like once they've been pickled. Then we've got our courgettes. Wow, the courgettes are coming now. They're all flowering, they're all starting to grow. Soon I'm going to be inundated with courgettes. Yes, the first few will be delicious, and then I'll be like sick of the courgettes, and none of my friends will want any because I've given so many away. But we'll see how well they get on and how well they actually come on with. I'm looking forward to that because obviously I've got my new cooking pan this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing how well they taste in that, and make some stir fries and mix some tomato sauce in and stuff like that, and see what I can make out of them, because I've never really been into cooking for myself at home, but I'm starting to get into it now, so hopefully we can make some delicious meals from them. Then as lettuce is doing absolutely amazing this year. They're iceberg lettuces, so obviously I can wait for them to produce the iceberg in the middle, or I can eat them while they're still the leaves at the side, so it's up to me. Obviously if I leave them for the iceberg to appear, they'll all be ready at the same time, and that's the risk of when they suddenly are ready and they start bolting and get ready. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, they will come on really well. And this year I've managed to actually grow spinach really well this year. I can't believe it. I just shoved it in between my courgette plants, and wow, it's growing so well. I'm going to be like Popeye soon, and I'll have massive muscles, I hope. I don't know how true it is. I think it was just a ploy for kids to eat spinach back in the olden days. But yeah, I've got so much spinach, and I need again to try recipes out with spinach. Obviously you can do eggs and spinach, scrambled eggs and spinach, and it tastes really nice, and obviously the spinach shrinkles up really much when you use it in scrambled eggs. But yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a try and seeing how well we actually get on with it. So we'll see what we can produce and see if we can get some good fantastic crops and food from that. So then moving on to, I've planted some radishes. I planted them the other week. They've all started sprouting. I planted them straight in the ground this time because obviously you don't need to plant them in trays at this time. You can plant them straight in the ground, and they're all starting to pop through now and grow. I don't know if I'll be thinning them out, we'll see. I might just leave them as they are and see how well they grow rather than disturbing them. And then we've planted some spring onions as well. Again, I've just sprinkled them straight into the ground now, as the ground is warm enough and they'll germinate. And again, I'm not going to be thinning them out. Spring onions can grow as a bunching crop and grow really well, so if you want to fill in some gaps now and get some stuff growing, get some spring onions in, some radishes in, and it's not too late to get them in and get them growing. So yeah, get them going. So we've got that to do. And I planted some runner beans as well the other week. Again, runner beans will be producing up until October, so they can crop late. It's only the cold that kills them off, so if you keep picking them from the crop, they'll keep producing. And yeah, we'll see how we do with a late crop. I've got some runner bean plants growing already, but these were just some spare seeds that I thought I'd chuck in and see how well they get on and see if they actually grow, and they are doing. And what else have we done recently? I planted some extra sunflower seeds as well, see if we can get some late crops of sunflowers. I've got some really big sunflowers growing at the moment. I'm looking forward to all them coming out because I do love the sunflowers on the plot. If you're wanting to attract the bees, the sunflowers are definitely the way forward, and look so nice as well. And you can use the stalks as canes as well because they'll dry rock hard once they've produced, once dried out and died off, so you can use them for canes as well. And yeah, we've got some pumpkin plants growing. They're growing well, not as fast as what I thought they would do, but they are growing. I'm keeping them watered. I gave them a little bit of food the other day as well, give them a kickstart and see how well they get on. So it's all coming together really well. I'm pleased with how things are coming along. I couldn't ask for anything better at the moment. I've got my new garden area, which was what I did this year, so there's still quite a bit of work what needs doing on it. I want to build a rockery on it. It might be getting a bit too late now for that. We might have to do that next year, but I've got ideas of what I want to do. I'm going to put some black membrane down, plant some alpine plants through it, and then put wood chip down on top of it as well to make it look nice. And also it's a weed suppressant, so the weeds won't grow back and just the alpine plants will grow, and it'll keep the ground moist as well to get them growing really well. And in this new area we've got all as lavender, we've got geraniums, we've got as hebes, we've got fuchsias growing, we've got gladioli growing, we've got as new herb garden, which we've got like different varieties of mint, we've got coriander, we've got thymes, we've got all different bits and bobs growing in there, and I'm so pleased with how it's all coming together. It's just baffling me how well I've done this year. I'm really pleased with how well I've done. Next year I can only improve on things what I've done and carry on making it better, making it look good and improving it. Yeah, so all the support from everybody that listens to this, I get 1p per episode for every listen, so keep streaming these episodes. If you're asleep, stream them in your sleep, and just turn down the volume on your phone if you want to help me and you're not having to give me any money for it. So yeah, every little helps, and I just thank you for those that do listen to these podcasts. If you are new to this podcast channel, make sure you click that follow button, make sure you click that subscribe button, and you'll get notified when new episodes come up and when they've been produced. And yeah, hopefully there'll be another episode tomorrow, because we need to talk about what jobs need doing in the garden, and we also need to talk about what you can plant as well in July. I just had to check the date then, because I need to check what month we're in. Time's flying this year, it really is. So we've got them 2 episodes coming up as well soon. So I hope that you're all enjoying these episodes. Until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. Thank you for listening to today's Gardening with Ben's podcast. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do click that subscribe button, and feel free to share it as well on your Instagram stories. All you have to do if you're listening on Spotify is click the share button, and you can share it straight to your Instagram story for all your followers to listen to, and help build my listeners up as well and get more people listening to it. Feel free to check out all my social medias: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok. Go check it out. Check out my dancing. Gardening with Ben. And check out the link as well in the description of this podcast, where you can check out my gardening t-shirt shop, where I sell funny t-shirts with all different funny logos and designs on. And feel free to support me by purchasing one, and all the money obviously goes back into my allotment, where I can share more gardening tips with you all. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcast.